Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our reading through the Tanak night. It's the 1st of July, 2026. Okay, I'll be playing a video for my main topic. It's if you have type O negative blood, uh, the DNA will reveal the truth. So we're gonna find out what type O is. Type O negative is what it's all about. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at, examine, get the meat out. These videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Okay, and we have our Cash App at the bottom of the screen for those that want to support this channel and help it move along. Okay, Prophets of Awakening we have a sister channel also, our women's channel. We have our women's event Bible study on. It's every Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. So if you are interested in that and merging with that conversation, just call 337-802-0889, and then we'll be able to send you the link. That way you can get more involved with the class and with the conversations that go on the class. Okay, this is a non-Messianic channel. For those that don't know, we deal with the Tanak and the Torah. Tanak being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, from Genesis to Malachi, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Savior and our Redeemer and our Deliverer, okay, the Lord of Hosts. Okay, this channel was created to aid and assist our Hebrews who are waking up in these last days, understanding who they are, their true identity, and also understanding who their Savior and their Redeemer truly is. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our reading through the Tanakh study. Okay, we're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Psalms. We'll read the Psalms. We have some current events, some need-to-know information. Then we'll open it up for anybody with any questions, any comments, any dialogue. And then our topic for discussion, like I said earlier, is dealing with that O negative blood and what it reveals through scientifically. Okay, and our scripture reading is we'll be reading we're in the book of First Chronicles now, and we'll be reading chapters 1 through 5. We'll read each chapter like we normally do, and break it down, talk about it, then we move on to the next chapter. And we'll pick a scripture, we'll break that scripture down, talk about it, then we'll close out. Okay. This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts, and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before you, bow down with great respect for our Redeemer. Oh Lord, you confessed through your prophet Isaiah that you would return unto us, and that you would pour out your Spirit upon us. Okay, great in counsel and mighty in works, while our eyes are open upon the ways of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruits of his doings. O Lord, behold, thou hast made the heavens and the earth, and by thy great power and thy stretched out arm, there is nothing too hard for thee. Knowing all these things, we eagerly await thy coming, the day in which thou wilt break the yoke of our oppressors. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, I'll read the Psalms right quick. Okay. I want to read Psalms 98. It's praise to God for his salvation. O sing unto the Lord a new song, for he have done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm have gotten him the victory. The Lord have made known his salvation. His righteousness have he openly showed in the sight of the heathen. He have remembered his mercy and his truth toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all the earth. Make a loud noise and rejoice and sing praise. Sing unto the Lord with the harp and the voice of a song, with trumpets and the sound of clarinets. Make a joyful noise before the Lord, the King, and let the sea roar and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. And let the floods clap their hands like the hills be joyful together before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. With righteousness shall he judge the world, and the people with iniquity, with equity. Okay, so that was Psalm 98. Okay, I want to shine light on one verse. It says, verse 1: Sing unto the Lord a new song, for he have done marvelous things. He have done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm have gotten him the victory. So when you see right here, his right hand, we know that's the Lord's right hand. That's where his sword is at. So what is his holy arm? That's the servant that we was talking about, the suffering servant, but it's the righteous ones. Okay. So with that being said, anybody got anything on that? We're gonna move on. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna go to our current events. We're gonna play them like we normally do. Then we'll talk about it. Dialogue. Okay, give me a little minute.
Dude, guess.
Let's see where I'm at. Okay. Here we go.
There's a report that the Department of War has a minimum threshold. They want to see 243 million barrels left in there. And you have to make some assumptions about what that means. There's only 331 right now, so that only leaves 88 million barrels to go at current drawdowns rate. That's 10 weeks. But they always have to leave 10% in there. So when you subtract the 10%, which is of the total capacity, which is 713 million barrels, that's another 71 missing. That means there's only 2 weeks left that they can draw down at current rates of about 9 million barrels per week. If the Department of War has a say and says, no, we have to leave something in reserve just in case, right? For true emergencies, not gas approaching 450 a gallon. That's not an actual emergency. I mean, going to war with China, that would be an emergency, right? So that's one level. If the Department of War doesn't have a minimum floor and doesn't really care, and I can't imagine that they wouldn't, then we probably go to about October 4th. So the actual number we can manage here in the United States is somewhere between those two numbers, 2 weeks, 14 weeks, you pick. What assumptions you want to make. Now, they could always draw that down more slowly or even more quickly. Its max drawdown rate is about 4 million barrels a day. And we're doing about 1.4-ish right now, 1.3.
Are we still drawing it down now, or we've slowed, we've stopped, we still?
We'll see what the next report is. Last week was a pretty hefty drawdown. So it looks like it's going to start slowing down because they've had fewer bids for the oil that they wanted to release from it. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think that's the ticking clock in this story. Iran can wait. They know they can wait. All they have to do is make sure that some X million barrels per day is missing coming out of that strait, and the pressure is now on the United States side of the court.
Yeah. Well, a good time now is to talk about the massive drop in the price of oil. It seems to have given Trump a bit of breathing room, the ability to take more risks again. You know, when the price of oil is at $100, $110, $105, $110 a barrel, Trump just wants to do anything he can to de-escalate and would think twice and thrice before deciding to escalate in any way. When oil goes below $70, you know, that leeway is there. So a few questions. First, do you agree with this point? But more importantly, why do you think oil's at that level? And let's talk about the elephant in the room, China. The reason that oil dropped so quickly and the reason that oil didn't hit $150, $200 a barrel is because of the drop in Chinese demand. What did China do? Did they use their strategic reserves? Why did Trump convince them in the meeting they had, the Trump-Xi meeting in this China visit? What happened there and what's happening right now? Why are they still not buying up a lot of that oil that is floating for such a cheap price?
All right, two issues here. So let's talk about the Chinese situation first. So they didn't reduce their demand, they reduced their imports. So their domestic demand was probably unchanged, right? They continued to burn through stockpiles. And they don't really have a strategic stockpile that's the government's and then, you know, corporations or industries, commercial inventories on the other side. It's all one thing, right? So when we talk about their inventories, I've always assumed it's just all adding up all the stuff they've got there because it's all kind of belongs to the state, right? But they did take their imports down 4.4 million barrels a day in the last month, and that's a huge amount. And we know that Trump went over there with a bunch of dignitaries from our corporate world, and so they must have been some quid pro quo. Quid, we'll reduce our imports. They must have gotten something for that. We don't know what yet, but they have to have, right?
Taiwan,
that wasn't free.
Something to do with Taiwan. Something to do with Taiwan.
Maybe, yeah. Yep, probably.
What else could it be?
So we saw just a week after that trade delegation that the United States suspended arms sales to Taiwan, whatever that's worth, right?
Exactly.
So we'll see. So that's on one side. The other side is that right now, when you look at the structure of the oil market, all of our markets here in the West, that would be London, New York, you know, what we're really looking at is their paper markets, right? So it's entirely possible for people who have deep pockets and who are willing to sell short paper barrels of oil to drive the price down. They do this with every single commodity out there. They've done it for years with gold, with silver. But I didn't think they could do it with oil, but the data is pretty clear right now. So Managed Money is a group of participants, and they are now the most bearish on oil they've ever been. They hold about $19 billion of shorts on the Brent contract alone, when the normal number would be bouncing between 2 and 5, right? So it's like this massive increase in that. Our prime ETF for oil, USO.
Incrediware is the first wearable anti-inflammatory. Now,
of its total outstanding float, all the shares out are short right now. This isn't just like kind of short. We're talking GameStop level short. Like this is like if it goes the other way, mad scramble. So the question is, well, who's doing all this shorting?
Sorry, I missed it. What are they? Sorry to interrupt you. What are they shorting? I didn't understand.
So there's an ETF out there with the designation USO.
Okay.
And that tracks the price of oil. It doesn't physically hold oil, but it tracks the price of oil.
That's it.
And so there are people out there, whoever, if we had access to the data, we'd know, but investors, speculators have shorted practically the entirety of that, all the shares outstanding. If there were 100 shares outstanding, 93 of those are short right now.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's massive concentration of short. So the question arises, how do you get max bearish oil in this environment? You know, and as we've mentioned before, be incomplete if we didn't mention Russia, under a lot of technical difficulties trying to keep its oil going with all these successful attacks by Ukraine on its oil infrastructure. And that alone, just those attacks alone in prior years would have shot the price of oil up. So there's something else going on. I'm in the camp that believes there's an invisible hand at play here, that this is something that our government uses markets as signaling devices at this point in time, and that they do intervene. And it's a belief I hold, but I've been watching for a long time. This is odd.
How would they intervene? So you're saying that's using what money?
Maybe Elon's magic money machines that we talked about. Right?
So
I don't know.
There's because go ahead, because there's something just doesn't make sense.
Well, no, it doesn't, because we know demand isn't down. Demand, the price of oil right now, or gasoline, petrol, jet fuel at the pump, is not high enough right now to drop demand. So demand is staying very, very high, as if there was no war going on. But supplies, we're missing still 8-9 million barrels a day. We had this little flush of oil that's going to come out of the Gulf, but that's like a one-time flush. And by the way, a lot of evidence suggests that the tankers that are leaving are beelining for China right now, and it's mostly Iranian oil that they've allowed through. So we got that going on. But that's it. So we're still short many millions of barrels of oil per day. The price should be skyrocketing. Inventories are declining. That should be sending price signals, and it hasn't so far. But if that goes on further, we just sail straight into a shortage at max speed at some point.
What's that saying? It's like it happens slowly, but then suddenly, or something along the lines. Like it's like things are just unraveling. Something's just happening slowly. It's like 08 financial crisis. I remember things are looking bad. It's gonna happen. Okay, is it gonna happen? Why isn't it happening? And boom, it implodes. I just feel like something similar is happening with energy markets. Because the Iranians will probably be looking at the price of oil saying, what the hell went on? We just opened the Strait of Hormuz. We're still attacking ships every few days. The MOU's on the brink of collapse. Yeah, oil prices collapsing. Did we do a shitty deal? There's breathing space for Trump. Something's happening. Or they might see it being also manipulated. They're like, let's just hold off for a bit and let things unravel. They might even play a role in letting it unravel. You know what? Let's cause the Strait of Hormuz to close. Let's strike a few ships for whatever reason, because they're going through the Omani side. And let's see if the price of oil really is going to be below $70, because it doesn't add up, or strategic reserves are weeks away or from just going to zero.
Yeah. Look, one of the things we know for sure is that one of the things Trump cares about most and really focuses on is the stock market and also the price of oil. I mean, he talks about them all the time. So it will not have escaped Iranian attention. In fact, it hasn't. Ghalibaf has made direct statements about this, that, Trump seems to care about his precious markets. So they know that's his weak point. They know that's what he's focusing on. So if you're smart and strategic, like we know the Iranians are, I would just let us continue doing what we're doing, holding the price of oil down for political purposes, watching our inventories drain. You just let that clock run as long as possible, and then you pull the plug on the whole thing. And if you do that, the United States really doesn't have any reserves to rely on at that point in time. There's nothing to fall back on. It would be silly for us to do that, to drain our reserves down without a clear plan for how we're going to exit. But if we do that, if we drain our reserves down and then re-escalate and the strait gets closed down, that's going to be very bad for U.S. markets, for price of oil, for all kinds of things.
Okay, what do you think?
Shalom, brother Leonard. I'll just say it sound. I know based off this clip that the war is about to escalate.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Because with them running out of oil, whether that's true or not, I just feel like that's letting us know that they about to make a move.
Right, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next.
Donald Trump is panicking as Iran has once again blocked a ship trying to traverse the Strait of Hormuz using the unauthorized route. Trump and J.D. Vance have been bragging, we've opened up our own route in the Strait of Hormuz that we control. The IRGC released a video saying, no, you don't. And by the way, you may want to take a look at some of the satellite footage, because all of the tankers right now, the VLCCs, they're mostly all using the IRGC route. And in terms of the transponders on these tankers on the other route, you ain't seeing any ships traversing over there. So Iran's IRGC grounded a foreign container ship in the Strait of Hormuz trying to use a U.S. lane moments ago. Iran says it repeatedly warned captains, ship owners, and officials of shipping companies around the world that any entry or exit through routes other than the route of authority in the Persian Gulf could lead to irreparable incidents. And I'll show you right here, because the IRGC just released footage of the foreign cargo ship stuck in the Strait of Hormuz after attempting to transit using a U.S. suggested route this morning, calling it an incident even worse than sinking. Per the Iranian broadcast network, here's what they just showed moments ago. Let's play it.
شنوایی که میخواست قوانین تنگه هرمز را دور بزند ولی عاقبت خوشی نیافت. اسناک است. وای وای، پره های موتور کشتی رو وقتی پره های پروانه کشتی این گونه از سطح دریا بیرون بزند یعنی اتفاقی بدتر از غرق شدن.
So as the Trump regime has been panicking, they sent J.D. Vance to act like a tough guy in front of members of our military who were just incredibly bored and disengaged by this terrible speech. J.D. Vance was given the speech and he was like, do you all know we dropped bombs a couple of days ago on Iran? You know why? Because Iran was shooting at commercial ships that were using our route. And now there's complete transit through the Strait of Hormuz, not using the IRGC route, using our route. We did it, mission accomplished. That's not what's happening. And I implore everybody to look at the crack spreads right now. I know I may sound like a broken record about this, but the crack spreads are the delta or the difference between the crude prices that you see, which are below $70 a barrel, right? That's the WTI and Brent crude. But look at what the refiners are charging, because our strategic reserves are hitting technical or functional tank bottom. And so the refiners see, wait a minute, we don't have the ability to provide this level of gasoline at the pump while something's going on with the market to manipulate it so it's lower right now than it was under former President Biden in like 2023 and 2024 when the Strait of Hormuz was open. But the refiners see what's happening. That's
the leverage that you gave him to engage in negotiation. Why do we engage in negotiation? Because of you. It's not out of weakness, but it's out of strength. And again, I go back to that time that I served in the United States military from 03 to 07. We made a lot of mistakes back then.
And then J.D. Vance says, what I noticed about people who are attacking our administration for negotiating is that they're the very same people who encourage us to drop a few more bombs on places like Afghanistan. By the way, I agree with J.D. Vance here. However, he's acting like they didn't just get us in this catastrophic war in Iran in the first place. Like, we're here because you all invaded Iran and you lost the war. So now you entered into the MOU, and now you're going to lecture on what the neocons did, who are horrible people, but you are the neocons. You're the neocons, just like them who lost. You lost. So now you sign the MOU. Here, play this clip. His motorcade so he can feel tough. Here, play this clip. And then Donald Trump is having a conversation with AI President Teddy Roosevelt that Trump seems to think is real. And it seems that AI Teddy Roosevelt is trolling Donald Trump, because Trump's like, do you think the Panama Canal is your greatest achievement? And AI Teddy Roosevelt is like, the job of a president is beyond a single thing like that. You must care about the people. Like stuff that Donald Trump doesn't do at all. Here, play this clip.
Do you consider the Panama Canal your greatest achievement?
Well, right then, yes. The canal stands as one of my proudest battles, no question. But greatness is a strange thing. It isn't always the biggest or boldest job that matters most. Panama Canal showed what America could achieve if we held steady and acted fast when the world dragged its feet. That said, I measure my greatest work by the lives improved.
Have you seen that where they got the hologram of Teddy Roosevelt? Hello? Okay. So we go to our need to know, okay? Check this out.
That's how much it cost me to make sure my family.
Check this
To
out.
halt the merger of the U.S. and Israeli militaries together has failed, unfortunately, which means that they have shoved this into the National Defense Act, and it will pass. And Israel will no longer need funding. This whole idea, which Netanyahu even says was his idea, this was his plan. This did not come from our Congress members. He actually put it forward. They said, okay, we'll do whatever you want, our dear leader Bibi. And they put it into this bill. The goal of this, according to Netanyahu himself, is to end U.S. aid to Israel. Now, you might think, oh, that's a great thing. We do want to end U.S. aid to Israel, right? So he's saying, okay, here's a workaround. We know that Americans are now arguing over U.S. aid to Israel. This was never a topic before, but now it's become a hot topic. So there's even bills that are being presented as we speak to end U.S. aid to Israel. The workaround is to no longer need aid from the United States military because you will just become the United States military. That's literally what Netanyahu said is the reason for this. He said this would end our, rather than being dependent on the U.S. military, we become partners. We become partners. We share everything. So we don't need to be dependent on them. We share. We don't need to wait for aid. We don't need to beg for aid. We don't need to ask for things. We share. That is the goal of this. And unfortunately, it failed. Here's the article from Responsible Statecraft saying Congress has refused to even allow a full House vote on a provision that would pave the way for an unprecedented integration of the U.S. and Israeli military industrial complexes. The move came through the House's rules process for the National Defense Authorization Act, which determines which of the more than 1,000 proposed amendments to the defense policy bill will be publicly debated and voted upon by the full House. Unfortunately, after no debate on Monday, the Rules Committee chose to reject a bipartisan amendment introduced by Reps. Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey that would have stripped the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative from the bill. The committee released a list of amendments that were ruled in order, is what it's called, for a vote on Monday night, and theirs was not on it. This provision they wanted to squelch, previously known as Section 224, creates an executive agent within the Department of Defense whose sole responsibility is furthering U.S. and Israeli military tech integration across nearly every facet of the defense process, from co-producing weapons to data fusion. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described this shift in the U.S.-Israel relationship as my plan. And now his plan gets to go forward because Israel gets whatever they want from the United States. Now, you might be someone who very much supports the state of Israel. You might want to give them every single weapon they ask for. You might want to wipe out every single Muslim on the planet. You might want to wipe out all the Arabs. That might be your stance. But even if that is your stance, it is never a good idea to integrate a foreign military into your military. To merge them together is not a good idea because, as history has shown, if you've read those history books, is that the allies we have today are not always the allies we have tomorrow. And the enemies we have today are not always the enemies of tomorrow. I mean, look at Germany, look at Japan, we're friends. So anything could happen. And we're already seeing the Israelis getting mad when Trump says, I want to make a deal with Iran. I want to get out of the war. What did the Israelis do? They immediately called him a traitor. So we can't think for ourselves when we have a merged military with even our greatest ally. It doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to get into a fight. And when you're in that fight, you don't want them to hold the leverage over you and to say, well, actually, you're my bitch. So you can't exit out of this relationship, and we control all of the data. We actually are the ones who manufacture all the weapons. And that's the point of this. The point of this is not only just to become friends, partners, share military, but it even specifically says in this provision that we will buy essentially Israeli tech, that we will source and look for as much Israeli tech to integrate into our military as possible. That is a bad idea. That's the worst thing I've ever heard of. That is turning us into our NATO partners in Europe who don't have their own militaries. We supply their military and they're our bitch. We get to tell them whatever we want. to do, and they have to do it because we hold our military over their heads. The fact that they don't have defense, and we're their defense, we hang it over them. And so now Europe is talking about, you know what, maybe we should have our own defense so that we don't have to rely on the America anymore and do everything they say. You know, maybe it's like a housewife saying, maybe I should get a job so I can leave my husband. Right, yeah. So basically, we're going to become the housewife to Israel without the job. They're going to be the ones manufacturing everything, making everything, and we're going to have moments where we want to leave this abusive relationship, and we can't because we're reliant on them. We're going to strip us of everything we have, all of our dignity, all of our sovereignty. We won't have any of it anymore, and they'll tell us you can't leave. Well, Ro says this about his amendment that failed.
Congress has blocked Thomas Massey and my amendment to prevent the integration of our military with Israel. This is unconscionable. They're not even giving us a vote on the amendment. Thomas and I will continue to fight to make sure we don't compromise American sovereignty.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope Americans wake up to this as our sovereignty is being handed over to Israel. And you might think, oh, you know, it doesn't affect me. It's just gas prices. They're going up a little bit, but oh, well, wait until your kids get shipped off to Iran to fight in a war for Israel while they're fighting Lebanon to take land. They're not even fighting with us side by side in Iran. They just want Americans to die for it. Wait until that happens and then see how you feel. I guess if you want to wait that long, many of us would prefer not to. There are many amendments now to the NDAA to try to strip Israel of funding, but we know that's not going to go through. But, you know, it's nice to see some people try. Here is Representative Greg Cesar, and he says, soon the House will vote on the amendment to block taxpayer funding to Israel's military. I will vote yes. The Israeli government committed war crimes in Gaza and helped drag America into war with Iran. Americans should not be financing more weapons for Netanyahu. I am aware that the amendment was written, may cut off both military weapons and some diplomatic funding. While I would prefer to vote on an amendment that stripped just military funding, I think opposing the billions in military funding is what's most important here. I wish everybody felt that way, but I came across this really disappointing video clip of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I was a big fan of his, supported him definitely in his campaign for presidency, encouraged him to actually go and run as a Republican, encouraged him to leave the Democratic Party, to go independent or to go Republican, to even merge with Trump, which he did, encouraged all of that. The one thing that really turned me off, and many people from his campaign, was the fact he's a full-blown frickin' Zionist. Don't know why. The guy's not a Christian evangelical, which is where dispensationalism kind of breeds into Zionism. He's a Catholic. Where does this come from? I mean, many people say it looks like even Israel influences are what killed his family members, but this is what he sounds like.
If you look at the Mideast, there is an ongoing genocide against Jews and Christians in all the nations in the Mideast. In 1948, there was 1 million Jews in the Mideast, in the Arab countries. Today, there's about 15,000 left. 20% of the population was Christian, now it's 5%. In Israel, in contrast, there were 150,000 Palestinians in 1948. Today, there's almost 2 million. They're 20% of the population. If Israel wanted to commit a genocide against Palestinians, they could do it in a minute. It's doing the opposite. The Palestinian population is growing enormously around Israel. There are no Jews in Jordan. There are no Jews in Gaza. The number of Christians in Gaza has dropped by about 80% over the past 10 years. If you want to see where a real genocide is happening, it's not in Israel. It's happening in all the nations around it.
If you often feel your blood pressure is on the higher side, we recommend eating 2 pieces a day if you want to maintain your blood.
Okay.
These are old talking points. I mean, why is he saying this stuff now? This was just the other day. This clip is not old. I know you watch this and you think this is from years ago. No, this is just from the other day. He's still talking like this. And actually, RFK Jr., there are Jews in Jordan. There are Jews in Syria. There are Jews in Saudi Arabia. There are Jews in Lebanon. There are Jews in Palestine. There are Jews in Iran. There are Jews all over the place because they're part of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. So If you're a Bible believing person, you believe that there were 12 tribes and 10 of them were lost. Where did those 10 go? Where did those 10 tribes of Jews go? They were absorbed into those surrounding countries. They are still the genetic Jews of Abraham that are entitled to that land according to the Bible. So that, you know, the 12 tribes were absorbed. They are still there, you know, but the religion of Judaism, I mean, how many Jews are there in Israel if you're going to count it by the actual religion? Far fewer than the actual population of Israel that follow the religion of Judaism. So, but, you know, I don't want to get into the weeds of it. This is just like it's just really, really disappointing to continue to hear this from this guy. Like, what the hell already? And he says, oh, you know, they're not the ones committing the genocide. They're not the bad guys. It's the other guys that are bad guys. Really? Tell me that this guy's not a bad guy. This guy says, people call us baby killers, but you know what? They're not wrong. And we should not be ashamed of it. I'm proud to be one, because this is what Hashem ordered, to kill the Amalek. That includes men, women, baby animals, and even their trees. I served in the IDF in Gaza with the 84th Givati Brigade, and not many of us saw any issues with it. In fact, we were encouraged at times. I feel no emotion when it comes to this. They need to be dead, and we all need all of our land back, all of it. Eretz Israel. That's who you're defending, RFK Jr. People are saying, well, why were they asking the Secretary of Health and Human Services about genocide anyway? Well, because he's the guy that's supposed to be in charge of health and human services, and you think that he would be against a genocide, but he's not. I mean, this is just I just don't understand him. I don't understand this where this comes from. Is he just really, and he's like, a Palestinian killed my dad, so I hate Palestinians? Is that where, does it stem from that? You know, from his youth, they took up, you know, and they did that on purpose in order to get to him. Or is he compromised? I mean, he did fly in Epstein's jet a few times. I mean, there's a lot of questions around why he takes that stance that he does, but it's just so totally disappointing. Anyway, I want to show that to you. Very disappointing. It's very disappointing that many of our politicians are still falling into this trap, no matter how much evidence we show them, no matter everything the American people say. They're still falling for whatever Israel wants trap, and that includes now merging our militaries with Israel. So if you don't want that, call your congressman, call your senator, tell them you absolutely want them to oppose that bill unless they strike that from it, that you will not live in a nation that has become, you know, beholden to another foreign nation. I was going to say something much more grotesque, but whatever. It is. But it is. I mean, we're becoming very much at the behest of this foreign country. It's so obvious at this point. I mean, it's just so obvious. Israel is taken over. We're not a sovereign country anymore.
Okay, what you think?
Shalom. But what she said right there at the end, I agree with that. And then she had mentioned in there about the not Hebrew Israelites, but the Hebrew Israelites being
Lost
count,
tribe?
right, and counting the people based on the religion of Judaism versus the bloodline of the people. Right.
Yeah, she dropped the ball. When she talking about the 10 lost tribes, she don't know what the hell she talking about. Yeah, she dropped the ball, man. And then the thing, when I'm me sitting there looking at it, she actually advertising for him. But she trying to act as if, I mean, the same way with when you start looking at this thing, like I said, it's a coup going on. And Tucker Carlson, when you go back and look at his stance all the way up to last year, and all of a sudden he even flipped the script. No, ain't how it go, man. They actually like I was saying before, they good at smoking mirrors, and so they on this side of the fence, but actually they on that side of the fence. Because and then like I said, the stuff they're saying is promoting Israel.
All right.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And like I said, this place ain't got no other choice but to go down because they like she was just saying, they the government, and they didn't got to the point where they so immersed and intertwined with the government now they can do this, and it's gonna bring the government down because they actually the government. They actually they the what they call the form. They the inner workers of the government. Now they're at the point where they're bringing it down, and they're playing as if they they're supporting it, or as if they on the they got a lot of their main characters on the other side of the fence, posing as the enemy, but they were actually working with them. Like I said, she cut her own head off just now, and she did. If you understand about who the real Israelites are, and what she just said, she cut her own head off.
Right.
Yeah. You got anything else?
All right, Shalom, brother Leonard. You had talked about the tribes not being lost.
Right.
Right. The 10 tribes, I guess specifically, right? They in Africa, right? They not lost.
Nah, they ain't lost. And she just said she said they over there around the Middle East.
Right.
She said the 10 tribes is over there, Jordan and all those areas over there. Actually saying that them people there is the Jews, is the Israelites. That's what she's saying. But like I said, but she's supposed to be against them, hating on them. But you started building them up. They ain't none of the damn Israelites. They not the, you mean she don't even have a clue. You know what I'm saying? She been bought, paid for. She don't understand what they told her to say because she had no knowledge what she just said. Like I said, she cut her own head off. Hebrew Israelite sitting there with his eyes wide open. Come on, man. You got to throw rocks at her.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, yeah. So with that being said, we'll open it up for some Q&A. Any questions, comments, dialogue, and testimonies? You got anything?
Shalom, yes, sir. Brother Leonard, I got a question in Lamentations. Well, I got two questions in the book of Lamentations. And it's Lamentations 1:1. Dang, I can't find Lamentations. But it's Lamentations 1:1, Brother Leonard, and it talks about the princes, the Israelites being princes among the provinces, and my my question was that alluding to the Babylonian time, or the let me get the verse.
So, like I was saying before, you're thinking like a Hebrew, when they say the day of the Lord, right?
Okay, right.
They want you, you know, they didn't set it up where it's only one day of the Lord, and that's the one that they didn't set up. They didn't concoct it in the Revelations. When the sun get dark and the moon don't give its light and all that, and that's the day of the Lord. That's a sign that those are signs that's going to happen before the day of the Lord, right?
Right.
But when the Lord comes right before when the flood came. Before the flood came, same thing happened. The moon didn't give its light and all that. It was the day of the Lord, which is the Lord. It's the day of the Lord's visitation, and He comes to deal with the earth, to sin on earth, and He come and deal with it. So we see it over and over again. That the day of the Lord, when He came to get the Israelites out of Egypt. Day of the Lord when he came to get the Israelites out of Babylon. That was the day of the Lord. And so you say, what are you talking about? So, for example is go to Joel. Prime example. So, and like I said, all it is smoke and mirrors. They went and dissected our records, and then they just came back and copied and pasted. As they seen the cycles that was in the way that the Lord of hosts worked. So you go to Joel chapter 2. It says a call to repentance. And so when you understand what this is in Joel, this is actually Ezekiel 37. That's the day of the Lord when he comes and when he's gonna resurrect all the dead that died in righteousness. All our forefathers, he's gonna resurrect all of them. That's the army that he's gonna use in the end time. So when you go to Joel chapter 2, verse 1, blow you the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, and let all inhabitants of the land tremble for the day of the Lord. See that? The day of the Lord coming, for it is nigh at hand. A day of, same thing in Revelations. They got it from over here though. They got it from the Tanak, right? A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds, thick darkness, a morning spread upon the mountains. So it's the same thing they got over there in Revelations. And all this happened. It happened before the flood. The moon didn't give its light. It got dark. All that. Same thing when he came to Egypt. Same thing when he dealt with them in Babylon. The day of the Lord is when the Lord comes. It's another synonym for that is judgment. A day of visitation. The day of the Lord visitation. Same thing. So it's when the sin and build up, and the Lord come to judge the earth, judge the sin. Sodom and Gomorrah was the day of the Lord. Okay. So anyway, so I say it all that to say this. So when you go back to Lamentations, this ain't the only Lamentations right here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just like it ain't the only day of the Lord. You think they want you to think that it's a Lamentations when they went to Egypt. Okay.
Right.
Then when Nebuchadnezzar came and got them and tore the temple down, that was a lamentation. Then when they came to, and when Antiochus Epiphanes came, which they don't want you, they wrote him out the story, they cyborg that. So that was the biggest lamentations when Daniel told him, when you put the books in order, Daniel said the Lord's indignation is gonna come to a fool. Okay, that's before you get to in Second Ezra. I'm not Second Ezra, but in First Maccabees. That's the fulfillment of what Gabriel told Daniel, that the Lord's indignation gonna come to a fool. He's tired of dealing with Israel. He didn't rescue them over 13 or 14 times. They've been in like 13 or 14 different captivities because of their disobedience. And so now he's saying, my indignation, Gabriel telling Daniel, his indignation that came to a fool. He's gonna come, the prince that's gonna come in Daniel 9:26, he's gonna lay the nation of Israel, bring it to an end. The nation of Israel will come to an end. And that's how we ended up on the west coast of Africa. So like I said, that was the day of the Lord, and also there's the Lamentations after that. And so the reason I'm saying that they took this Lamentations right here, which is actually the Lamentations of Antioch after Antiochus Epiphanes came, and they put it over here after Nebuchadnezzar came. And so how you rightly divide that, we'll see it right here. I talked about this in a couple of videos. So when you go to Lamentation 2, chapter 2, and it says, he started at Okay, chapter 2 says, in my King James Study Bible says, the title is Zion under judgment. So that tell me that's what Daniel told him. Gabriel told Daniel, the Lord's indignation gonna come to a full. He's gonna bring this nation he's gonna bring Israel to an end. He's gonna shut them off, cut them off as a nation. And so we see in verse 1, how have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of the day of his anger. So there's a lot going on right here. I'm glad I read it. So anyway, I was explaining I told you about the footstool. It ain't Yahweh, it's the Lord of hosts. Like you see what I'm saying? He's on the right hand side of the Father in heaven. The earth is his footstool when he comes to the earth. See that?
Right. Yes, sir.
He's telling you the point blank right there. He says, this ain't Yahweh. Yahweh not coming back and forth to the earth like Michael is. So it says, how have the Lord, it's Michael, covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud, right? So what did he do to Mary?
Made it turn her white.
He covered her with a cloud, didn't he?
Right.
And then when the cloud left, what happened?
Right. Then she was turned.
He judged it.
Right.
When the cloud come up, here you go right here. How have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger? See that? This is what Daniel told him. And cast down from heaven, he came from heaven unto the earth, the beauty of Zion, and remembered not his footstool. That down here is not where he's from. He's from heaven on the right hand side of Yahweh. So his footstool in the day of love. But anyway, I'm gonna keep going. The Lord has swallowed up all the inhabitants of Jacob. This is what he told me. Because they got the books out of order, and they got this lamentations over here all whacked out. And he says, and he have not pity, and he have thrown down his wrath, the stronghold of the daughter of Judah, and he have brought them down to the ground. He have polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. He have cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He have drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he have burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoured round about. He have bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary, and he slew all that was pleasant to the eye of the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like a fire. So right here is what your boy was talking about. Judah, the Hebrew.
Right, yes, sir.
I'm gonna read it again, verse 4. He have bent his bow like an enemy. He has stood with his right hand as an adversary and slew all that were pleasant. Go to Ezekiel 53, the pleasant plant, right? See that?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
To the eye, he saw all these is righteous. They ain't did nothing. He slew all that were pleasant to the eye. In the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion, he poured out his fury like fire. The Lord was an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel. He hath swallowed up all her palaces. He hath destroyed his stronghold. He hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning. Here go the word right here. You have increased of Judah mourning and lamentations right here. So this is the lamentations from Antioch Epiphanes, right?
Right.
6. He have violently, see that? Violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He have destroyed his palaces of the assembly. The Lord have caused the solemn feasts and the Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion. He have despised in indignation of his anger the king and the priest. That's the two anointed ones. But notice what he say, indignation. That's what Gabriel told Daniel. The Lord indignation coming to a full, right? 7. The Lord have cast off his altar. He have abhorred his sanctuary. He have given up into the hands of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of the Lord as in the day of solemn feast. The Lord so you're gonna say, well, you know, why this not you don't think this Babylon? We're gonna get to it in a minute. That's why I'm reading all this. Okay, so it says, the Lord hath proposed to destroy the walls of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore, he made a rampart, and the walls of lament. They languish together. Here you go, right here. Here go the dagger. 9. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. So same thing with Nebuchadnezzar, right? Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. See that? Gentiles. The law is no more. See that? Her prophets also find no vision from the Lord. So wasn't Ezekiel, Daniel, Zechariah, Amos, wasn't all of them in Babylon?
Right. Yes, sir.
Wasn't they getting dreams and visions?
They were.
Everything we getting from Daniel is in Babylon. Right here, see, look at this, 9. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He have destroyed and broken her gate bars. Her king and her princes is among the Gentiles. The law is no more. They had the law in Babylon. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from the Lord. See that? The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silent. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgin of the daughters hang down their heads to the ground. Mine eyes do fall with tears. My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings swoon in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, where is the corn and the wine? When they swoon as the wounded in the streets of the city, when their soul was poured out into their mother's bosom. So we see right here, this ain't nothing of Babylon. So they got the lamentations of Babylon, the lamentations when Israel was brought to a nation, was brought to an end. The prophet said Daniel, they got it over here behind Jeremiah, like it's lamentation of when Jeremiah prophesied about Babylon. That's the way of him wiping out that whole, Zerubbabel and all that. You see it?
Right. Yes, sir.
They wiped it out. They did what they did right here. That whole 400 to 500 years, they just smooth went over with like this. Like I said, they got one lamentation. When it's more than one lamentations, and they got it like this lamentation here is right behind Jeremiah. So they got you thinking this the lamentation of when Nebuchadnezzar came, but this is actually a lamentation from First Maccabees, and from when the prince that shall come, which is Antioch Epiphanes, the Antichrist.
Right.
Okay. Got anything else?
Shalom, brother Leonard. That verse, the verse though that I was speaking about is verse 1 in Lamentations 1, sir, and it says, "How doeth the city sit solitary, that was full of people? How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations and princes." Excuse me, she that was great among the nations and princess among the provinces, how is she become tributary?
Okay, that's what I just said about
Right.
that's when Antioch Epiphanes came.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing too, you can see is that they took both of the lamentations and put them together, made one lamentation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because right here it says, "How do the city sit solitary, solitary that was full of people? How is she become as a widow. She that was great among the nations and was great among, princes among the provinces. How would she become a tributary? So right here, you see that she that was great among the nations. So this is Babylon when they came back, right? When they came back from Babylon.
Okay, right.
Okay, who they still who in charge of them? They still
Jew.
fall under, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They still fall under Cyrus and Darius and them. They providences, see that? How many
Right.
providences do they have? 172 providences. They got their own Babylonian providence. The Judean providence.
Right.
So they was great among the provinces. Now this is telling you right here that Antiochus came.
Mm.
See that?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Right
Okay.
here.
Right. And then, I'm sorry. But then, Brother Leonard, my other question is in chapter 4 in Lamentations. Chapter 4, verses 21 and 22. And it says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity. O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins."
Where you at?
Oh, Lamentations chapter 4, verses 21 and 22.
Okay. Right. So this is what Daniel said, right?
Right.
22. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished. So he said, the Most High says, Daniel told him, the Most High his nation gonna come to a full. Well, it's accomplished right here. See that?
Right.
Oh,
And then,
daughter of Zion, he will no more. See, that's what Daniel told him. That's what Gabriel told Daniel. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. This last one. He will visit thy iniquities, O daughter of Edom, but will discover thy sins. So, right, this one is what Gabriel told Daniel. The Most High was gonna come, and after they go back from captivity, then the prince that shall come is gonna come, and he's gonna bring the nation of Israel to an end. Not the end of the world. The nation of Israel gonna come to an end. And here it is right here.
okay. Yes, sir. So that's what that means, is the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished.
Right. Let's look at it. Let's go look at it right quick. Let's go to Daniel. I think it's in chapter 7. It says, no, it's in 8. It says, starting at verse 18. Now, as he was speaking with me in a deep sleep, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, Behold, I will make thee know, here you go, what shall be in the last end of indignation, for the time appointed, the end shall be. And here go the accomplishment right here, what you just read. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquities, O daughter of Zion. Okay, daughter of Edom, and he will discover thy sins. So that means this puts you to Antioch Epiphanes, the last captivity. He brought the nation of Israel to an end. That's when they fled after when they came, they fled into Africa. They came and got them. That's how we got. That's where we at right now. because they fled at the time of Antiochus into Africa, and then for 1,500 years or so, they stayed there until Deuteronomy 68 caught up with them when the ships came. But back here in this Lamentations, what Gabriel told Daniel, and Daniel prophesied, it come to an end right here. It's accomplished.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay.
Right, that makes sense, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Right. Okay. Look at it. 5. Look at 5 and 11. Start at 11. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. Princesses are hanged up by their hand. The faces of the elders were not honored. They took the young men to the ground, and the children fell under the wood. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our hearts is ceased. Our dance is turned in the morning. Ain't that was what we read in First Maccabees?
Right.
Put the whole nation of Israel to shame. The house of Judah put to shame. The crown is falling from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned, for this our hearts is faint. For these things our eyes are dim, because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate. The foxes walk upon it. Thou, O Lord, remaineth forever. Thy crown, thy throne, from generation to generation. Okay? And then they go that word again I was telling you about, 21. Turn thou also unto thee, O Lord, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. Remember Micah chapter 5, verse 2? You remember that?
Right. Yes, sir. But don't they put in there from everlasting?
Why? He's
Okay.
talking about David, but then they put everlasting on there to make it look like it's JC, because they told you JC was there in the beginning. He's hidden in the bosom. So after they said days of old, anytime you see days of old, it's going back to the David kingdom. See, 21. Turn thou us unto thee, O Lord, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. When David lived, he had all the kingdoms united together, and that's David and Solomon. So when they say that as in the days of old, it's going back to David. But when you put from everlasting on there, then now you throwing JC in there.
Yes, sir. Pre-carnate.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. You got anything else?
Shalom, no, sir. Oh, one thing, Brother Leonard. Was that name Hamas? That terrorist group we was trying to think of yesterday. It was
Hamas. You got Hamas, Hezbollah, and then Houthis.
right. Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right. Yeah, and that's all I had.
Okay. So can play this right here right quick. I thought this is pretty interesting. That's why I'm playing it. Okay.
Here's what comes off a bowl of strawberries when
See?
You know everything about you. They don't have to go through all that legal paperwork, all that legal rigmarole. They can just buy the data from all these companies and sell it. Here are 3 reasons, real reasons, that so many data centers are being built right now and exactly what you need to do to protect your privacy. I'm a former CIA officer. My name is Jason Hansen, and I'm sure you've seen all the stories about data centers going up all around, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, the federal government, spending billions of dollars, millions of square feet. These data centers are popping up like wildfire. Right? Here's what you don't know and what most people don't know and what you need to know to protect yourself. By the way, this video is sponsored by Delete Me. More on that in a second. All right, reason number 1, they're building so many of these data centers is obviously AI. It's taking off like wildfire. And guess what? This is what most people don't realize. A single AI query is 10 times, uses 10 times more energy than a Google search. Get that. When you're going in AI, when you're searching, prompting, do whatever the heck you're doing, asking it to plan a vacation or where to take your next vacation, 10 times more energy than a simple Google search. And of course, very many people, almost everybody is using the AI these days in one capacity or another, and it's only going to increase. So that all that energy, and guess what? What they're doing when they're building all these data centers, when they're using all that energy, is building a pattern of life on you. They know where you shop, what you like to do, where you vacation, your home address, where you travel to, everything about you. And all that information, again, it takes power, it takes electricity, it takes storage, which is why these data centers are going up like crazy, is because they're building a whole pattern of life around you. And I'm going to tell you in a minute why this is going to get really, really nasty, and why Google and Microsoft and Amazon are doing it, and why the federal government is absolutely thrilled that all these big corporations are doing it. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is what I just said about the federal government loving that Microsoft, Amazon, etc., Facebook are building all these, because the federal government doesn't have to spy on you anymore. The federal government doesn't have to put in the legwork. All these companies do it for you and sell the data to the federal government. So, the U.S. government spies on Americans. We know that. That's not anything crazy. But a lot of times they have to get a warrant. It takes more, they get a judge to approve it, if they're doing it legally, of course, and it takes more effort. But now they can know everything about you. They don't have to go through all that legal paperwork, all that legal rigmarole. They can just buy the data from all these companies and sell it. So, of course, the Verizon, that all these companies claim they're not selling your data, but they are. That when your Amazon Echo is listening to you in your house and finding out exactly what you like to do, where you like to shop, hey, are you pregnant? Are you not pregnant? And then they feed that information. And then you go to Target, which was that famous story about the girl who started getting coupons for being pregnant. Her father was like, this is inappropriate. We're going to find out his daughter was pregnant. So the federal government loves all these data centers being built, loves everything that's going on, because they know that these big corporations sell the information to them, and they know everything about you, which is, of course, not good at all. Reason number 3 is that your data compounds over time, meaning they continue to build a lifelong profile. So yes, it's valuable today, but guess how much more valuable it is in next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and so on, because it keeps building that pattern of life over and over and over again, and it gets to know you better and better and better. So just imagine what a child born today, like, it's frightening, because I have 8 kids, of what, if they do it the wrong way, what the federal government, what these big corporations are going to know about them by the time they reach age 18, by the time they're 25, by the time they're 35, that pattern of life and all that, and how much more valuable that data becomes. And again, they sell all of it to the feds. The feds have spent tens of millions of dollars buying this data. It's all legal to do from these corporations. So how do you stop it? What do you need to do? What do I do as a husband and father of 8 to make sure that my family's protected? Well, I'm going to tell you a few very quick reasons anybody can do this. Way number 1 is I use a company called Delete Me. As I said, they're sponsored today's video, but I like them because what they do is they go into these data broker websites and they remove your information for you. So you could spend 24/7 trying to remove your information from the internet, spend hours and hours, would be a pain in the butt. I know how to do it, but I certainly don't want to spend the time doing it. Delete Me does it for you. So every time somebody tries to sell your information, it pops up. Delete Me removes it. It's harder for them to gather information, which is why I like them. If you want to use Delete Me like so think about everything you use. Think about the phone in your pocket. Think about the laptop you're using, right? Think about the internet search you're using. Well, there are ways we can protect ourselves. So as far as browsers, Brave is a good browser. DuckDuckGo is a good browser. A VPN, a virtual private network on your phones and on your computer. Those are good ideas. Most people don't do them, which is why most people are so easy to hack, so easy to find information about. But these are simple things that everybody can do. You can use a different internet browser. You can put a VPN on your phone. So that's simple stuff that I recommend. Again, it doesn't take a lot of time and all that kind of stuff. So start doing that. You don't have to do it all at once, but just think about, hey, am I doing, I'm doing an internet search. Do I really need to go to Google, or is it something where I want to go to Brave DuckDuckGo? Just do this stuff. It's easy. Okay, so what is number three? Number three is to slowly get your quote-unquote off-grid plan together. What do I mean by that? Is there's a million weirdos in this world or psychopaths. You don't want them to know your home address. So this, number three, is more of a long-term plan. It takes time. For instance, I have never had anything delivered to my home. No Amazon boxes, no pizza, nothing. I use a UPS store, I mailbox, etc. That is where all my mail goes to. So start putting that into place. Don't have stuff come to your home address. Don't have your Amazon boxes go to your home address. My license, my driver's license does not have my home address. So you need a physical address, which is a UPS store. You can't use a PO box like you used to use back in the day. But think of all this long-term stuff. We've heard the horror stories about some YouTube influencer or Instagram or whatever, and some psycho shows up on their doorstep. You don't have to be a YouTube influencer. You don't have to be an Instagram famous person. There are just too many crazies in this world, whether it's a psycho coworker or somebody you go on a date with. So goes and tries to get a mortgage in your name, if somebody goes and tries to open a bank account or gets a vehicle loan or whatever, your credit is going to be frozen. It will not allow them to do it. So definitely.
Okay. So what you think? That information he put out at the beginning was crucial, right?
Very crucial. Remind me of Pastor Manning, our brother Leonard.
Oh yeah. He tell you what they're about, what the data center is all about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Tracking our every move, and then how they were talking about like having AI on the social media platforms, people talking against is right.
Exactly.
And then talking about the 6G too.
Oh yeah, it is 6G. That's my thing. What I'm saying is they talking about 6G, but they're talking all around it.
Okay.
Because that's what's gonna link all this stuff. The data centers and all that is the 6G.
Right.
So that means they're already using it. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, but they ain't talking about it. Because you remember all the hell the people went in the uproar over 5G.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And so this 6G is like 100 times faster. Like he was saying, the reason why it causes so much heat and friction that they have to have so much water because it's the way it's operating. It's like 5G, 6G is like 5G on steroids.
Right.
Oh yeah, and our whole thing dealing with 6G is military. It's 100% military application. So, like I said, when you're dealing with the devil or you're dealing with a wicked ass spirit, they're not gonna manipulate you here and there, and then when they get you where they want you, they're gonna say time out. You know what I'm saying? So the same way it is. They're not gonna do all this and then say, oh no, this 6G, we ain't gonna use 6G. No, they gonna use it. Damn what it's gonna do to the population and to the people and the effects it's gonna have, they're gonna use it anyway. We really wasn't supposed to be dealing with 5G. It was dangerous. It was dangerous. Yeah. Got anything else on that?
Shalom, brother Leonard. Yes, sir. When you just how you said it is dangerous, because I remember those clips, like back in 2020 when he was playing a lot of the David Icke clips.
Right.
Yes, sir. He's the one who opened my you showing me those clips that opened my mind up to seeing the capability of it. Because what he was saying about it, they could, use the frequency and make people sick, make them ill. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ain't that something?
All right, sir.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna deal with this topic for discussion. Right? It's got to do with that O negative blood type. Okay, some need to know information.
Better now.
Check it out. Okay.
samples from a hospital biobank containing over 76,000 patient records, looking for something specific, people whose blood didn't behave the way blood was supposed to behave. What they found was a small percentage of donors whose red blood cells carried none of the markers that the other 99% of humanity carries. Not a weaker version, not a rare variant. Zero. And when they traced that absence backward through the genome, it didn't point to a defect. It pointed to something else entirely. A signature that showed up earlier in the human story than almost anything else they'd ever mapped. That blood type is O negative. And if you have it, what's sitting in your veins right now connects you to a question scientists still haven't fully answered. Here's why this matters before we even get into the science. Blood type feels like trivia. Something you learn in a hospital waiting room and forget by the time you leave the parking lot. But blood type isn't random. It's one of the oldest, most conserved pieces of information your body carries, and the patterns it follows trace all the way back to before our species had cities, before we had agriculture, before we had written language of any kind. When geneticists started asking why O negative exists at all, why evolution would produce a blood type with no defenses built into it, the answers they found rewired how an entire field understood human migration. So let's start with what scientists expected to find, because the expectation is what makes the answer so strange. The standard story of blood type evolution goes like this. Blood antigens, the markers that make A, B, and AB blood what they are, exist because they help the immune system recognize threats. Specific markers evolved in specific regions because they offered some kind of resistance to local diseases. That part isn't controversial. It's been confirmed dozens of times. Type O, the baseline blood type with the fewest markers, was assumed to be the original setting, the default. Before mutations added the A and B markers, scientists figured everyone was just O. Simple, old, foundational. Nothing mysterious about it. If you want to subscribe for what's coming in this video, now's the moment, because the part where that simple explanation falls apart is still ahead. Here's the first shock. When researchers at Stanford ran deep ancestral mapping on O-negative populations specifically, not O-positive, O-negative, they found something that didn't fit the simple default story at all. O-negative wasn't evenly spread across the globe the way a baseline trait should be. It clustered. Hard. Certain populations carried it at rates of 35, even 45%. Others carried almost none. If O blood were just the leftover original setting before mutations happened, you'd expect to see it spread out fairly evenly, fading slowly as A and B markers took over in different regions. That's not what the data showed. It showed sharp boundaries. Populations with extremely high O-negative rates sitting right next to populations with almost none, separated by mountain ranges, by old migration routes, by geography that mattered 10,000 years ago and still shows up in blood types in hospitals today. Think of it like a fingerprint left at a crime scene that's still legible after 10,000 years of weather. That's what O-negative blood is. It's not just type, it's a record. The deeper explanation involves something called the rot factor, the part of your blood type that makes it positive or negative. This is the part most people skip past, but it's actually the more important half of the puzzle. The rot factor is named after the rhesus monkey because that's the species researchers were studying in the 1940s when they first identified the protein. Around 85% of humans carry it. The roughly 15% who don't, the negative types, are missing a protein most of the rest of the species has. And for decades, that absence was treated as simply that, an absence, a gap. Nothing more interesting than a blank space on a form. But blank spaces in genetics are rarely actually blank. They're usually evidence that something else used to be there, or that something different happened in that lineage entirely. This is where the story takes its first real turn, when researchers began comparing REC SA Juset, REC 18 quoted, mydinucleasions against the broader human genome. Not just other modern humans, but ancient genetic material extracted from bones tens of thousands of years old. They expected to find the negative traits scattered evenly across early human remains, the way you'd expect a simple genetic dropout to appear. Instead, the RAC-DAP beta marker was almost entirely missing from the oldest African genomes they tested.
What you get out of that so far?
When he said it, excuse me, he said how it didn't get spread around evenly, it clustered.
Right.
Yes, sir. That, I mean, it just sounds like it's the blood of a certain people, certain type of people.
Fallen angels.
Mm.
Fallen angel DNA. That's what that is. Okay. Yeah.
Wasn't there at the root. It showed up later. Specifically, it started appearing in significant numbers in populations linked to regions outside Africa, populations whose ancestors had already left, already spread out, already started encountering environments and other hominin groups their ancestors back home never had. That detail, Rh negative blood, essentially absent at the root of the human family tree, then surfacing later, regionally, sharply concentrated, is the kind of finding that makes a research team run the analysis twice before publishing it. They did. The same pattern held the second time, using a completely different sample set and a different sequencing method. Independent teams in Europe reran portions of the data themselves. Same result. And no, this isn't a fringe theory circulating on forums. This is published, peer-reviewed population genetics, sitting in the same kind of journals that map disease resistance.
So go back to Noah. He says he found Noah perfect in this generation, and he wiped everything else out. Okay.
And ancient migration routes. What's still being debated isn't whether the pattern exists. It clearly does. What's being debated is what produced it. This is usually where a script will just tell you the explanation and move on. But to actually understand why O negative blood ended up concentrated the way it did, you have to understand what scientists were really testing for in the first place. Because the original question wasn't about blood type at all. It was about a completely different mystery.
A cure for everything except death.
Populations carry small amounts of DNA from older, now extinct human relatives, while others carry almost none. Blood type mapping turned out to be a side door into that much bigger investigation. And what they found through that side door connects directly to the question of where O negative blood actually comes from, why it concentrates the way it does, and why some researchers think the explanation isn't really about Africa or Europe at all, but about something that happened during pregnancy, in real time, inside the bodies of ancient mothers whose immune systems were fighting a battle they didn't know they were fighting. That part, the pregnancy connection, and what it reveals about why RN's negative blood survived at all instead of being bred out of the population entirely, is where this gets stranger than anyone expected. Here's where the immune system part comes in, because this is the piece that actually explains why Rh negative blood didn't just survive. It explains why it should have disappeared completely, and somehow didn't. When a mother who is S8 negative carries a baby who is Rh positive, inheriting that trait from the father, her immune system can eventually recognize the baby's blood as foreign. Not always on the first pregnancy, but the exposure that happens during birth can sensitize her immune system. And in a second or third pregnancy with another R positive baby, her body can start attacking the baby's red blood cells as if they were an infection. Before modern medicine had any way to intervene, this condition caused miscarriages, stillbirths, and infant deaths. Generation after generation, quietly, invisibly, with nobody able to explain why some pregnancies simply failed for no apparent medical reason. By the basic math of evolution, that should have wiped Rh negative blood out entirely. A trait that actively works against successful pregnancy should get selected against, hard, over thousands of years. It should have thinned out to almost nothing. Instead, in certain populations, it didn't just survive. It thrived, holding steady at rates some researchers initially assumed had to be a measurement error. This is the part of the story that made one research group go back and question something nobody had questioned in decades, the tool itself. For most of the 20th century, the standard method for identifying ancient RS status worked through comparison. Take an ancient genetic sample, Compare it against a modern reference population assumed to represent the original baseline, and mark any differences as a deviation from that baseline. The reference population used for decades in this kind of analysis was treated as a clean starting point, the blank slate every other sample got measured against. Nobody had gone back and tested whether that baseline to something they can't fully explain yet, that the unusually high rate of Rosh negative blood in this specific population was consistent with, but not fully explained by the isolation model alone. Consistent with, but not fully explained by. That phrase is doing a lot of work. It means the isolation explanation accounts for some of what they're seeing, but not all of it. There's still a gap, and what fills that gap is still being argued over in the literature right now, because the ROT negative concentration in this specific region is higher than even the isolation model predicts it should be, even after accounting for thousands of years of genetic drift in a small founding population, which raises the question nobody has fully answered yet. If isolation alone doesn't explain the full size of the spike, what does? That question connects directly to something else this same research uncovered, something that has nothing to do with Spain or France or even Europe at all, and everything to do with a separate ancient population whose genetic fingerprint shows up, faintly but unmistakably, inside the ROC negative data itself. A population that, until very recently, most researchers assumed had left no detectable genetic trace in living humans whatsoever. That population is the Neanderthals, or more precisely, a lineage closely related to them that split off even earlier in the human family tree. Sometime.
Okay, who you think that is? Nephilim, huh?
Yes, sir.
Nephilim. And then go to Genesis. I mean the Jubilees. So this killed the lie they told that Lord Host dropped them in.
Right.
Look at this blood. His blood's still doing the same thing it's been doing. And it was even killing babies. Until they figured out they came up with some kind of medication to counter it. And I'm quite sure it's still killing babies. But come on, man. You think they came from Yahweh?
No, sir.
No. That's angelic DNA right there. Well, we right there, right? We looking at it, and it kills the lie they told you about. The Most High said he brought them in. Jubilees break it down and tell you when you cross that line, you cut out. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This what that blood do right here. What they finding out now through all these laboratories, Yahweh, Lord of Hosts already knew all that. Ain't this something?
Right, yes, sir. And Brother Leonard, it was an old clip, an old video rather we had watched. It was actually a long time ago now at this point, but the video was talking about all of the draconian nations, like, and it specifically was talking about all of them having the RH DNA, and that's what they all had in common.
Right, or RH negative.
Right. Yes, sir. RH negative.
Right. There's something, and then like I said, it's smoke and mirrors. This O negative. Come on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Then for them to be doing all the research and all the stuff they find out about it's got to be alarming. You know what I'm saying? For them to make this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And
then, okay.
And it's right there in Jubilees. It's just in Hebrew, telling you it's in a Hebrew perspective. Jubilee telling you that don't deal with them. He's talking about this blood, this right here, this right here.
And Brother Leonard, Yes, sir. That's why you can't. They don't do DNA tests over there.
Right.
And okay, come on.
Right. Exactly. We did something. So we're gonna go ahead and start reading. We in First Chronicles. We're gonna read chapters 1 through 5.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna read the first 3. I'll read the last 2.
Right, yes, sir. And I got right, First Chronicles. Okay, the generations from Adam to Abraham.
Okay.
Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, Mahaliel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japhet, the sons of Japhet, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah, and the sons of Javan, Elishah, and Tarshish, and Kittim, and Dodanim, and the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, Put, and Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, and Rama, and Sabteka, and the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be mighty upon the earth. And Mizraim begat Ludnam, and Anamim, Lehabim, and Naphahim, Patharu. I'm sorry, these names. Pathurim, Chalcahim, of whom came the Philistines, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Zidon, his firstborn, and Heath, the Jebusite also, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, the sons of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and the Parkside, and Lud, and Aram, and Uz, and Hor, and Gether, and Meshach. And the Parkside begat Shelah, and Shelah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, because in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Armadad, and Selah, and Hazar Maveth, and Jerah, Hadaram also, and Uzar, and Dekla, and Ebar, and Abamiel, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab, and all these were the sons of Joktan. Excuse me. Shem, of Parkside, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Ru, Sarug, Nahor, Terah, Abram, the same as Abraham, the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael. These are their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Neboeth, then Kedar, then Abiel, and Mibsam, Mishma, and Duma, Masa, Hadad, and Tema, Jether, Naphish, Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael. Now the sons of Keturah, Abraham's concubine, she bare Zimran and Jokshan and Medan and Midian, Ishbak and Shua. And the sons of Jokshan were Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Midian, Ephah and Epher and Enoch and Abida and Elda. All these are the sons of Keturah. And Abraham begot Isaac, and the sons of Isaac, Esau and Israel. And the sons of Isaac, Eliphaz, Ruel, and Jewish, and Jalem, and Korah. And the sons of Eliphaz, Teman, and Omar, and Zephi, and Gotham, and Kanaz, and Timnah, and Amalek. And the sons of Ruel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Missa. And the sons of Seir, Lotan, and Shobal, and Zibeon, and Anah, and Dishon, and Ezer, and Dishon. And the sons of Lotan, Hori, and Homam, and Timnah was Lotan's sister. And the sons of Shobal, Alien, and Manahath, and Ebal, and Shaphi, and Onam. And the sons of Zibian, Aya, and Anna. Okay. Verse 41, and the sons of Anna, Dishan, and the sons of Dishon, the sons of Anna, Dishon, and the sons of Dishon, Amram, and Ishban, and Ithran, and Sharan, and the sons of Ezer, Bildan, and Zavan, and Jakan, and the sons of Dishan, Uz, and Aran. Now these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Bela, the son of Beor, and the name of his city was Dinhaba. And when Bela was dead, Jobab, the son of Zerah of Basra, reigned in his stead. And when Jobab was dead, Husham of the land of the Temanites reigned in his stead. And when Husham was dead, Hadad, son of Badad, which smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Aviath. And when Hadad was dead, Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And when Samlah was dead, Shah of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And when Shah was dead, Baal-Hanan, son of Akbar, reigned in his stead. And when Baal-Hanan was dead, Hadad reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Pi, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matri, the daughter of Mahazahab. Hadad died also, and the dukes of Edom were Timnah, Duke Eliah, Duke Jetheth, Duke Aholabama, Duke Elah, Duke Penin, Duke Kanaz, Duke Teman, Duke Mibzar, Duke Magdiel, Duke Iram, and these are the dukes of Edom. And Shalom, that was First Chronicles.
Yeah, verse 41.
Okay.
The last word. The last word.
Verse 41. Sharon.
If that's the name you looked the other day, you said it would be something else.
It's
some other name you said.
It's right here in chapter 2. This Chelabah.
Okay.
But this one I don't see a asterisk by this Sharon name.
Okay.
Right. However you say this one.
Okay.
Okay. But Brother Leonard, another thing right here though, how this re-solidifies the lie right here. They got the even having Sear's family in this lineage, what they got to do with the Israelites?
Exactly. What they starting at 34 is the descendants of Esau.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But the thing I was talking about too, another thing that I peeped I was listening to this is notice, when you go up to the descendants of Ham.
Right. Okay.
Okay, all the way down to 12. See the capital?
Right. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So all these nations right here, they got the I am on the end of it, and these are the ones that Deuteronomy chapter 2, when they tied to Egypt, and then they all when Israel came out of Egypt. Remember they passed through that land in Deuteronomy chapter 2. These all names. These all names. And then when you get to 13, see that? 13?
Right. Yes, sir.
Them Canaanites. That's the seven nations. Remember, Canaan was gonna live in the tents of Shem. Here you go. 13 all the way to 16, them Canaanites.
Right.
But up here from 8 down to 13, they Mezarine. That's why they got the IM on it. It's something going on with that, because of these are the ones. These are the giants. Direct. They came about the same way that the giants before the flood did, because the ones from 13 all the way to 16 are smaller, because they got the ITE on them. They ain't they're cut off of a cut.
Right. Yes, sir. Like,
And
is it?
Go ahead.
Oh, so, I'm sorry. I didn't want to stop. Just like Rephaim. Is that
Right.
like?
The IM, they tied to Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah. So then so like what I'm saying is, you got what we've been dealing with is Ham, Shem, and Japhet, right?
Okay.
But actually, what we're supposed to be dealing with is Ham, Shem, Japhet, and Canaan.
Right.
That's
Okay.
another lineage. Canaan, another lineage.
Yes, sir.
You can see it right here. See, the 13 is the capital. All from 13 up to 8. You dealing with Ham, and then there's another man. Just like Ham is a man, Shem a man, and Japhet is a man, Canaan a man. He got a lineage. That's another lineage.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Big. Oh yeah. So, but they throwed us off by saying Ham, trying to tie Canaan to Ham.
Right.
See what I'm saying? But it's four different men. You got Ham, Shem, Japhet, and Canaan. And then he specifically told us Canaan is going to dwell in the tents of Shem, not Ham. And then we see it right here when Abraham received the land of Israel, he got the seven nations of Canaan. Over here, 15. Go to Genesis 15. Yeah, Genesis 15.
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
Okay, verse 18. This is the covenant we made with Abraham when Abraham was circumcised, right?
Okay.
On the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, "Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river of Euphrates." There you go. The Canaanites. See the ITE? Canaanites, Kizzites, Omanites, the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaim, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Girgashites. See that? These are different races. This is just a whole nother race of people, family of people. Then Ham.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
And this the prophecy that Canaan gonna dwell in the tents of Shem, not Ham. Yeah, I just caught that. See that?
Right. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. I just caught that after you said that. Right.
Okay, so we got anything else on that chapter?
No, sir. Yeah, no, sir. Chapter 2, Israel's descendants, and these are the sons of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun, Dan, Joseph, and Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, which 3 were born unto him of the daughter of Shua, the Canaanitess. And the firstborn of Judah, was evil in the sight of the Lord, and he slew him. And Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bare him Pharez and Zerah. All the sons of Judah were 5, and the sons of Pharez was Hezron and Hamor, and the sons of Zerah were Zimri and Ethan and Heman and Calcol and Dara, 5 of them in all. And the sons of Carmi, Achan, the troubler of Israel, who transgressed the thing accursed. The sons of Ethan, Azariah, the sons also of Hezron that were born unto him, Jeremiel, and Aram, and Chelubah. And Aram begot Aminadab, and Aminadab begat Nahshon, prince of the children of Judah. And Nahshon begot Salma, and Salma begat Boaz, and Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begat Jesse. And Jesse begat his firstborn Eliab, and Abinadab the second, and Shema the third, and Nathaniel the fourth, and Radha the fifth, Ozium the sixth, David the seventh, whose sisters were Zuriah and Abigail. And the sons of Zuriah were Abishai and Joab and Asahel. And Abigail bare Amasa, and the father of Amasa was Jether the Ishmaelite. And Caleb, the son of Hezron, begat children of Azubah, his wife, and of Jerioth. And her sons were these, Jasher, Shobab, and Ardon. And when Azubah was dead, Caleb took unto him Ephrath, which bare him Hur. And Hur begat Uri, and Uri begat Bezaleel. Afterward, Hezron went into the daughter of Mashir, the father of Gilead, whom he married when he was 80 old, and she bare him Segub. And Segub begat Jair, who had 23 cities in the land of Gilead. And he took Geshur and Aram with the towns of Jar, from them with Kenath and the towns thereof, even 80 cities. All these belong to the sons of Mashur, the father of Gilead. And after that, Hezron was dead, and Caleb Ephratah. Then Abiah, Hezron's wife, bare him Asher, the father of Tekoa. And the sons of Jeremiel, the firstborn of Hezron, were Ram, the firstborn, and Bunah, and Oren, and Ozum, and Ahijah. And Jeremiel had also another wife, whose name was Atara. She was the mother of Onam. The sons of Ram, the firstborn of Jeremiel, were Maz, Jamin, and Eker. And the sons of Onam were Shammai and Jada. And the sons of Shammai Nadab and Abishur. And the name of the wife of Abishur was Abihail, and she bare him Aban and Malad. And the sons of Nadab, Salid and Appaim, but Salid died without any children. And the sons of Appaim, Ishai, and the sons of Ishai, Shishan, and the children of Shishan, Elah. And the sons of Jada, the brother of Shammah, Jether, and Jonathan. And Jether died without children. And the sons of Jonathan, Peleth, and Zaza. These were the sons of Jeremiel. Now Shishan had no sons but daughters. And Shishan had a servant, an Egyptian, whose name was Jarha. And Shishan gave his daughter to Jaha. his servant to wife, and she bare him Attai. And Attai begat Nathan, and Nathan begat Zabad, and Zabad begat Ephlal, and Ephlal begat Obed, and Obed begat Jehu, and Jehu begat Azariah, and Azariah begat Helez, and Helez begat Elishai, and Elishai begat Sisame, and Sisame begat Shalom, and Shalom begat Jechamiah, and Jechamiah begat Elishama. Now the sons of Caleb, the brother of Jeremiel, were Misha, his firstborn, which was the father of Ziph, and the sons of Marishah, the father of Hebron, and the sons of Hebron, Korah, and Tapur, and Rekem, and Shema begat Raham, the father of Jorkim, and Rekem begat Shammah, and the son of Shammah was Maon, and Maon was the father of Beth Zur, and Ephah, Caleb's concubine, bare Haran, and Mazah, and Gaziz, and Haran begat Gaziz. And the sons of Jada, Regem, and Jotham, and Gish, and Geshem, and Pelet, and Ephah, and Shaph. Maacah, Caleb's concubine, bare Sheber, and Tarhana. She bare also Shaph, the father of Madmenah, Shiva, the father of Macbenah, the father of Gibeah, and the daughter of Caleb was Oxa. These were the sons of Caleb, the son of Hur, the firstborn of Ephratah, Shobal, the father of Kirath Jearim, Salma, the father of Bethlehem, Harith, the father of Beth Gadar, Shobal, the father of Kirath Jearim, had sons. Haroth and half the Mahanathites, and the families of Kirath Jearim, the Irthrites, and the Puites, and the Shumathites, and the Mishraites, and of them came the Zarathites and the Ishtalites, and the sons of Salma, Bethlehem, and the Netophathites, and the Tarith, the house of Joab, and half of the Manathites, the Zorites, and the families of the scribes which dwelt at Jabez, the Terathites, the Shimeathites, the Suchathites. These are the Kenites. These are the Kenites that came of Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab. And Shalom, that was 1 Chronicles chapter 2.
Okay, you got it down?
Brother Leonard, how in here, like I was stuck on this chapter for a long time, and I actually still am. But just all these names in here, what I did kind of find just in my own time though, that a lot of these names in here that I read in the second half is definitely not Israelites on the father's side.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah. So, but the thing I'm trying to go back on. I didn't write it down, but you know the story what happened with Zerubbabel, right? And then how Zerubbabel came about. Zerubbabel came about because of he was the seed that from a man that had died, and they had to raise up a seed for him.
Okay, right, yes, sir.
That's how you got Jesse, right?
Right.
So we see right here. Let me show you. Let me get it. It says, well, first of all, look at 16.
Okay.
Read it.
And it says, whose sisters were Zuriah and Abigail, and the sons of Zuriah, Abishai, and Joab, and Asahel, 3. And Abigail
That's it. What you get out of 16?
Oh, so that's this Joab who was David's Lord of Hosts, right?
That's the 3 million right there.
Right.
That's 3 of David 33 mighty men.
Right.
See that? So, but look at who they're attached to. Abigail.
Right. David's sister. Wait, no, whose
No,
sister was right?
Abigail, David's wife. They married Abigail.
Yeah, David. Right. The sons of
So,
Zerah.
then
Okay.
another one was, okay. Yeah, look at 19.
19. Okay.
Read
And
that.
when the Zuba was dead, Caleb took unto him Ephrath, which bare him her.
Yeah, right there. You ain't saying it right.
Oh, Ephratah? Or
right, that was just
right.
Bethlehem. Okay.
Right.
So,
That's where Jesse was from, right?
yeah, Beth is right. But anyway, so it's another one I was looking at. Yes. Yeah, look at 29.
Okay.
And the name of the wife of Asher was Abihail, and she bore him Ahabin and Molid, and the sons of Nehal, Seab, and Apim. See that word Appaim?
Right.
But look at this. Same thing with Zerubbabel. But Selad died without a child. See that?
Right.
Now look at the next verse. And the sons of Apad, Isha, and the sons of Isha was Shushan and the children of Shushan Ally. So Apad had to raise up a seed for Selad. See that?
Right.
When you understand the story. So you got sons, you got and the sons of the 30, the sons of Mabad. Mabad had his boy Selad and Appan. But Selad died without children. So Apad got to take a receipt for him. Because he died without no children, right? Oh, go to Ruth and Naomi and them.
Right.
So that's that's like, if you don't understand Hebrew, you understand that. But when you see it, you tell, that's why he's saying that. Selad, Nabal had Selad and Apim, but Selad died without children. Then, so that means right there, the very next son that Apim has got to be for Selad, right?
Right.
So 31, and the sons of Apad, Isha. That right there. That's just like Zerubbabel. See that?
Sure. See
So
redeemer.
yeah, and then from there, the sons of Esau, Shushan, and the children of Sheba. Yeah. So you automatically know, you can read that when you understand what's going on. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. You want to read 3? Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
And then one more thing up there. You get to 51.
51.
Well, 50. They go to Ephesus again, just for GP. See that? 50.
Right.
50. These were the sons of Caleb. Then I was telling you about the movie Ben-Hur, right?
Okay.
There it is. See that? The sons of Canaan, the sons of Ur. That's right there. And then firstborn of Ephrata. There it is again. And then I told you about that dude right there. See that? Kipper.
Right. Exactly.
He had 3 giant sons. He a giant. See the I
Yes.
am on his name? Now, from there all the way down, now you start seeing the ice that you talking about. Them ain't Israelites.
Right.
See that?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This how, and this is another way when you can see this how David get mighty men.
Exactly.
But they circumcised. They didn't came under, just like with over there I just showed you in 15 when Abraham got circumcised, right?
Right, yes, sir.
All them seven them giants and all them, they got circumcised with him. That's what brought about the giant war. Was circumcised giants fighting against uncircumcised giants.
Right, sir.
Okay. And
Oh,
then you
yeah.
start, huh?
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Leonard.
And then you get to 54. The sons of Selma, Bethlehem. Then look at that. Them ain't no Israelites. See that? Neophytes? See that? 54. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted. Yes, sir. I'm with you at 54.
Okay, see that Neophytes? They're not Israelites, right?
Right.
And then Asherah, the house of Joab. Joab ain't no always right. See that?
Right.
And then the half tribe of the Monothites. But this is my point I want to make. And the families of the scribes. See that? They scribes.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Right.
And then it said these scribes these are the Kenites. They came from Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab. You might know Israelites, right?
Right.
Let me show you they is. Go to Jeremiah. Okay. I think I'm not quite sure where it's at. You know, I'll walk it down. It's 39, ain't 39. Let me go back. I showed you, we talked about this before, but let me see what remember he told Jeremiah to go to the house of the Rechabites? You remember that?
Right. Right. Yes, sir.
What chapter is that?
That's
I think it's
that is right.
20 something.
Yes, sir. I thought like 28, 29, something like that.
You think?
Record.
He told Jeremiah, and then like I
Oh,
said,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Leonard. But I think it's 35, Brother Leonard.
yeah, there it is. 35. It says, I'm show you who they are. Verse 1, the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah from the Lord in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Joash, king of Judah, saying, go unto the house of the Rechabites. We just found out who they were, right? See that ITE on it?
Exactly.
And speak unto them, and bring them into the house of the Lord in one of the chambers, right? And give them wine to drink. Check it out. He testing them. Give them wine to drink, right? Now watch this. Then I took Jezaniah, the son of Jeremiah, the son of Hibaziah, of his brethren, and all his sons, and the whole house of the Rechabites, and I brought them into the house of the Lord, into the chamber of the sons of Hannah, the sons of Idaliah, a man of God, which was by the chamber of the princes, which was above the chamber of Manasseh, the son of Shulam, keeper of the door. And I sat, check it out, I sat before the sons of the house of the Rechabites, pots full of wine and cups. And I said unto them, drink ye wine. Now watch this. But they said, we will not drink no wine. For Jonadab, the son of Rechab, our father commanded us, saying, Ye shall drink no wine, neither ye nor your sons forever, neither shall ye build a house, nor sow seed, nor plant vineyards, nor have any, but all your days ye shall dwell in tents, that ye may live many days in the land whereupon ye be strangers. That's the curse of Cain. So Cain's descendants been keeping what the Most High told him all that time. That's the curse of Cain. So that's why he told them, give them some wine and see what they're going to say. They said, we can't drink no wine. Our fathers told us. It's been passed down. Look at what it say. Neither you can't drink no wine, neither shall ye or your sons forever. Neither shall ye build a house. See that ground with the seeds, ground, you know what I'm telling you, Cain started out a tiller of the ground, right?
Right, yes, sir.
When he killed his brother, he took that away from him. You can't sow no seed. Nor can you sow seed, nor plant vineyards, nor have any, but all your days you shall dwell in tents. This is a nomad. It's the curse. That ye may live many days in the land whereas ye are strangers. See that? Now you know why the Lord of hosts telling them about the stranger. And the reason why he's doing it, because they obeying their fathers. Ain't that what one of the commandments is? Obey your father and your mother.
Right, yes, sir.
We ain't doing that. Adam's side. They didn't went away from that side. We ended up over here. But these people, all from Cain all the way down, they still keeping that. You see it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then another thing I wanted to show you was, see that dude right there? Check out what the Most High doing. 4. And I brought them. You at verse 4? No, verse 3.
Yes, sir.
Then I took Jezaniah, right?
Right.
Son of Jeremiah. You know what that is?
No, sir.
Okay. Go to Ezekiel. Like I said, all these Jeremiah, Ezekiel, all this, they all existing at the same time. They want you to think they're not. Okay. So we in Ezekiel. Let me do it. I gotta find it again. So let me find it. So this one he told Ezekiel to dig down in the wall, right?
Okay.
Yeah, here you go. Verse 8, chapter 8.
Chapter 8. Okay.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord God fell upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, the likeness of the appearance of a fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, and from the appearance of his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of a hand, took me by the locks of my head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and heaven, and brought me in a vision of God to Jerusalem, right, to the door of the inner gate. And he looked toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoked the jealousy. And behold, the glory of God of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plains. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now for the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes to the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate at the altar of the image of jealousy in an entry, he said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here, that I shall go far off from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater images. And he brought me to the door of the court. And when I looked, and behold, a hole was in the wall. Check it out. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall behold, a door. And he said unto me, go in, and behold, the wickedness, check it out. And he said unto me, go in, and behold, the wicked abomination that they do here. So I went in, and I saw, and behold, every form of creeping thing and abominable beast, all idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the walls round about. And there, check it out, and there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood, there he is. See that? There he is.
Yes, sir.
There he is. That's why he got told to go get him. That's what he doing. Huh?
This what he do on the regular.
Yeah. Thank the Lord, the host don't know it. So what he did was he went and told him, go get the Rechabites. These wicked ass people. He said, go get them, bring them into the chambers. The chambers is where the priesthood live at, and the Levites. He said, go get them, bring them in the chamber, and go get this nigga. and then he gonna watch him witness to what they gonna do. See, they ain't doing what their fathers told them to do. But he go and tell them, get a Rechabite some wine. And the Rechabite said, we can't drink no wine. We can't plant no vineyard, we can't do none of that. They still doing what Cain told them passed all the way down. They still doing it. But these Negroes over here, they all under the Most High, under his temple. This is the kind of shit they doing. And then you wonder how we got over here. See that?
Right. Exactly.
He's tied to Jeremiah. Is that so?
Okay.
Okay. Where we at?
Okay. Chapter 3.
Okay.
In Brother Leonard, this the name right here in verse 1, matter of fact. And it says, now these were the sons of David, which were born unto him in Hebron, the firstborn Amnon and Ahinom, the Jezreelites, the second Daniel of Abigail, the Carmelites, the third Absalom, the son of Miacah, the daughter of Talmai, the king of Geshur, the fourth Adoniah, the son of Haggith, the fifth Shephatiah of Abitar, the sixth Ithraim by Iglah his wife. These six were born unto him in Hebron, and there he reigned 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem he reigned 33 and 3 years. And these were born unto him in Jerusalem: Shemiah, Shobab, Nathan, and Solomon. 4 of Beshua, daughter of Amiel, Ithbar also, and Elishama, and Eliphalet, and Noga, and Nepheg, and Japhiah, and Elishama, and Eli, and Ephlatat. 9. These were all the sons of David, besides the sons of his concubines, and Tamar their sister, the descendants of Solomon. And Solomon's son was Rehoboam, and Abiah his son, Asa his son, and Jehoshaphat his son, Joram his son, Ahaziah his son, Joash his son, Amaziah his son, Azariah his son, Jotham his son, Ahaz his son, Hezekiah his son, Manasseh his son, Amon his son, Josiah, his son. And the sons of Josiah were the firstborn, Johanan, the second, Jehoiakim, the third, Zedekiah, the fourth, Shalom. And the sons of Jehoiakim, Jeconiah, his son, Zedekiah, his son. And the sons of Jeconiah, Asir, Shealtiel, his son, Malchiram also, and Padiah, and Shenazar, and Jechemiah, and Hoshama, and Nedabiah. And the sons of Pedaiah were Zerubbabel and Shimi. And the sons of Zerubbabel, Meshalom, and Hananiah, and Shelomith, their sister, and Hashubah, and Ohiel, and Berechiah, and Hasadiah, and Jeshuhab Hesed, 5. And the sons of Hananiah, Pelatiah, and Jesiah. And the sons of Rephiah, the sons of Arnan, the sons of Obadiah, and the sons of Shechaniah. And the sons of Shechaniah, Shemaiah. And the sons of Shemaiah, Hattush, and Igiel, and Bariah, and Neriah, and Shaphat, 6. And the sons of Neriah, Elionai, and Hezekiah, and Azrikam, 3. And the sons of Elionaiah were Hodiah, and Elishab, and Peliah, and Akub, and Jehanan, and Dalia, and Anai, 7. And that was First Chronicles chapter 3. Sorry about the name.
Okay, so I was remember during the time of David, he had a prophet that he dealt with named Nathan, right?
Right, yes, sir.
Look at verse 5, chapter 3.
Okay. And these were,
He's David's son, right?
oh, so Nathan was David's son?
No, he named one of his sons after Nathan.
Okay, right. Name
yeah, that's how you get these same names.
Okay,
it's like the two Darius. The last Darius, the last king of the Medes and Persians is Darius, because of the first one was Darius. They named him after the first Darius. And so right here in verse 5, these David's sons. These were born under him, under David in Jerusalem. Sheba, and Nathan. He named him after Nathan because of the relationship him and Nathan got.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Sure. And Brother Leonard, so that name, when I was reading the other day on my phone, when I in 3 and 1 in my Bible on my phone, the name says Chileab.
Right.
In the where it says David's son name is Daniel, he got his second son named Daniel.
Right.
And yeah, and then it says but it had said Chileab when I was first reading it, and then I had looked at it and it said Daniel, and that had made me, at first I was like, whoa, is that Daniel? But then I thought about the timeline. But Daniel is probably named after this guy, right?
Right. Exactly.
Sure.
And notice who his mother is. His mother is Abigail.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
And not only that, I showed you Joab and all them is Abigail's brothers. 3 of the mighty men.
Right. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I'm over in chapter 4. The sons of Judah, Perez, Hezron, Comai, and Shabal. Reab, the son of Shabal, begot Jehab, and Jehab begot Brumana and Lahad. These are the families of the Zorites, and these were the fathers of Etam, Jezreel. There's no Jezreel right there. Remember, he always talking about Jezreel? And Ishma, and Ebas, and the names of their sister was Hazarapona, and Peniel, the father of Gedor, and Ezer, the father of Ishah. These are the sons of the firstborn of Ephraim, the father of Bethlehem. Okay, come on. And Asher, the father of the Tika, had two wives, Helah and Nurah. And Nurah bore him Ahuzam, and Helah and Tema and Hasha. These were the sons of Nahor, and the sons of Helah were Zereth, Jazar, Ethan, and Cuz begot Anab, and Zozabah, and the families of Ahel, son of Harum, and Jabez was more honorable than his brethren, and his mother called his name Jabez, saying, because I bore him with sorrow. And Jabez called on God of Israel, saying, oh, that thou wouldest bless me instead and enlarge my coast, and that thine hand might be with me, and that thou mayest keep me from evil, that it may not grieve me. And God granted him that which he had requested. And Chelud, the brother of Shua, begot Miha, which was the father of Eston. Eston begot Betharoth and Pisa and Timnah, the father of Ashanash. These are the men of Rekah, and the sons of Kenaz are Othniel and Serah, and the sons of Othniel and Hathanath. These names killing me, man. And Meonas begot Orha, and Serah begot Joab, father of the valley of Chazrin, for they were craftsmen. And the sons of Caleb, the sons of Jupna, Era, Elah, Naim, Nam, and the sons of Elah, even Kenaz, and the sons of Jehalel, Zipha, Tyra, and Azarel, and the sons of Ezra were Jephthah and Mered and Ephah and Jolam, and she was Miriam's, and she bore Miriam and Samina and Isabella, the father of Eshtema, and his wife Jehuna bore Jared, and the father of Gedor, and Heber, the father of Soka, and Judah, the father of Zeba, and these are the sons of the daughter of Pharaoh, which married took, and the sons of his wife Hina, the sister of Naham, the father of Kiba, the Gomite, and Elishama, and Machite, and the sons of Shimeon were Anan and Rena, Benha, and Tilum, and the sons of Isha were Zohet and Bizanah, I can't say that word, and the sons of Selam were the sons of Judah, were the father of Lechan, and later father of Meshach, and the families of the house of them that wrought fine linen, in the house of Ashibah, and Jokin, and the men of Chazeba, and Joash, and Saraph, who had dominion in Moab, and Jezebel, and those of ancient things. These were the potters, and those that dwelt among the plants and the hedges. There they dwelt with the king for his work. The descendants of Simeon, Simon, Simon, okay, the sons of Simeon were Nemo, Jamin, Jared, Zerah, and Shul. Shul and his son, Misham, his son, and Misha, his son, and the sons of Misha, Hamiel, his son, and Zakar, his son, and Shema, his son. And Shema had 16 sons and 6 daughters, but his brethren had not many children, neither did all their families multiply like the children of Judah. And they dwelt at Bathsheba and Moladad and Hazarah and Benab and Ezra and Tolik and Bethel and Hashmoth and Ziklag and at Beth Morabath and Hazarim and Bethrah and Sharon. These were their cities unto the reign of David, and their villages were Etam and Ayin, Remia and Token and Ashen, 5 cities, and all their villages that were around about the same cities unto Baal. These were their habitation and their genealogy. And Meshach and Jechan and Jocham, the son of Hamazah, and Joel and Jehu, Jehu, the son of Josabak, the son of Sirah, the son of Azrael, and Eliamina and Jokbah, and Jeshurun and Asher and Adel and Jezreel and Bina, the Zizah, the sons of Shipna, the son of Elum, the son of Jediah, the son of Shimara, son of Shema. These mentioned by their names were princes in their families, and the house of their fathers increased greatly, and they went to the entrance of Gedor, even unto the east side of the valley, to seek pasture for their flocks. And they found fat pastures and good, and the land was wide and quiet and peaceable, for they of Ham had dwelt there of old. And these are written by name, came in the days of Hezekiah, king of Judah, and smote their tents and the habitation that were found there, and destroyed them utterly until this day, and dwelt in their rooms, because there was pasture there for their flocks. And some of them, even of the sons of Simeon, 500 men went to Mount Seir, having for their captain Petra and Nera and Repha and Uzziel, the sons of Issa, and they smote the rest of the Amalekites that were escaped and dwelt there unto this day. Okay, that was chapter 4. Man, okay, you got anything on
No, sir.
that? Okay, well, I ain't gonna go through all this. Start at verse 18. Man. The history of the 2.5 tribes, the sons of Reuben and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, developed men able to bear buckles and shield and to shoot with a bow, and skillful in war, were 440,703 score that went out to war. And they made war with the Hagarites, with Jitor and Nebish and Nabal, know that, and they were helped against them, and their Hagarites were delivered into the hands and all that were with them, for they cried to God in the battle, and he was entreated of them because they put their trust in him. And they took away their cattle and their Carmel camels, and their camels 50,000, and the sheep 250,000, and asses 2,000, and the men of 100,000. For there fell down many slain, because the war was of God, and they dwelt in their stead until captivity. And the children of the half tribe of Manasseh dwelt in the land. They increased from Bezin unto Baal Hermon and Sinai, and unto Mount Hermon. And these were the heads of the house of their fathers, even Ephah and Issah, Elel and Ariel and Jeremiah and Habiah and Johadel, mighty men of valor, famous men, and heads of the house of their fathers. And they transgressed against the God of their fathers, and went the horn after the gods of the people of the land, whom God destroyed before them. And the God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, and the spirit of Tyler, king of Assyria, and he carried them away, even the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, and brought them unto Hala and the harbor and Hera, and to the river of Guzan unto this day. So that was First Chronicles chapter 5. Got anything on that?
Shalom, brother. Just in verse 22, just where they're just alluding to the Lord of Hosts title, just in what he does, where it says, "For there fell down many slain, because the war was of God."
Right.
Yes, sir. That just remind me of just what the Lord of Hosts does.
Right. Well, a prime example is what happened to Josiah. Remember, he came out against that guy, and that guy said, "Your God sent me to go do what I'm doing. You ain't got nothing to do with it." Same thing right here.
Okay.
They fighting against some God out. They're kicking against the bricks.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Creator with this person. It's like with Nebuchadnezzar. They weren't going to fend off Nebuchadnezzar when he came to destroy Babylon, because the Lord of hosts sent him.
Right.
Well, we know where he's going to win. But notice right here. I heard a guy say this the other day, and I just, it stuck with my head. But I'm gonna let it sit there. So right here in verse 26, notice it said that the covenant he got with David is that they don't do right, he's gonna raise up a nation of people to come and chastise them, right?
Right.
So this the half tribe though. This the half tribe. This the 2.5 tribes, right? Let me see.
Okay.
So not 10 tribes. See what I'm
Okay.
saying? The 2.5 tribes. And so he says, and the God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, and the spirit of Temagod. This is the same dude that they say in the 10 tribes, king of Assyria, and he carried them away. See that? Reubenites, Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, not 10 tribes.
Whoa.
It's some big. Look
Come
into
on,
that.
now.
Look
Okay.
into that.
Yes, sir.
Ain't that something?
Whoa. Okay.
Ain't that something?
Yes, sir.
And I heard a dude say that the other day, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" So, but it is, and we've had to brought it back around. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You gonna pick a scripture?
Right. Yes, sir. I got Brother Leonard, Isaiah 33 and verse 3, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about this the other night. If you could elaborate on that, where is that at? 33. And it says, Brother Leonard, I'm gonna read verse 2 as well, sir. And O Lord, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble. At the noise of tumult, the people fled. At the lifting up of thyself, the nations were scattered. And it's Shalom. That was Isaiah 33, verses 2 and 3.
Right. So like you said, it's like he got wings when it says he lifted up. Because if you go to Ezekiel chapter 1, it's the same thing as angels doing. He tells us they have wings, and then it says when the whatever that was they was carrying Yahweh on, he said they were contraption. He said when they lifted up from the ground, the thing went up with it. So he telling the God of Israel right there, lift thyself up. So to me, you got wings when you understand how that works.
Right.
Oh yeah, he's saying lift thyself up on, and not only that, they say lift thyself up on high. So that means that he's raising up above them. You know what I mean?
Right, yes, sir. And when they say that makes sense, right? When they say, Brother Leonard, under the shadow, you say
Right.
under the shadow of your wings, he gotta
Right.
be over them, right?
Right.
Cast
Exactly.
the shadow.
Right.
Okay.
Same with, like I say, with the when you watch you watch any of those movies on TV like House of the Dragon or the Game of Thrones when the lady she controlling the dragon, he got to lift himself up. He's standing there with her, and then she jump on his back, and then he got to mount up, lift himself up because he got a wing. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yes, sir. Mhm.
Yeah. Is there something?
Right, before he take off.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You can imagine me telling you lift yourself up. It don't make no sense. You ain't,
Right.
like I say, man, you don't have those capabilities.
Exactly. Right, yes,
You
sir.
know?
That I would take that as like, say, be arrogant or something versus, because I wouldn't think of it as trying to flock because I know I can't.
Right, exactly.
So,
But like I said, if you seen him do it all the time, then you'll say that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you witnessed it
Right.
every day,
Oh, yeah.
sir.
But it's fine. Right.
Mhm.
You got anything else?
Oh no, sir. I'm good.
Yeah, we at 240, man. 245.
Oh yeah.
Yes. It was worth it. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom. Shalom and another shalom. We got our women's advanced Bible study tomorrow night. It's from 7 to 9. Men can come in through YouTube. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. Shalom.
Shalom.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament in Tanak, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel. And there's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is and the Godhead.